Born and raised in North Carolina and now residing in Bronx, New York, coming to you with his original song, Manifestation. Give it up for Cyphers, Still.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What if there were no dreams? Would the woke really be awake? If someone really bit that quote well, they would really be a snake. Sneaky like the eve of the apple in the tree. Gotta breathe like the leaves. Respiration is the key. If separation was a weapon, would there really be a trace? Sometimes I feel hopeless, floating out of my focus. But that's when I notice the light surrounds me like oceans. Never gotta get away, I'm a ray on a wave. Never gotta be a slave in the grave. Modern day, everybody is chosen. Very little choose fate. This is manifestation, manifestation. Here to hear the vibration with a manifestation. I know you've been patient for a manifestation. I know you've been waiting for a manifestation. This is meditation for your soul. Feel the respiration of your hope. Breathe the vegetation, how we grow. Reap an education in you sow. Vines that don't need to find a root to breathe truth and walk through lost times with peace in these shoes. You judge me, you don't know why, but you love me. Sometimes I feel hopeless, floating out of my focus. But that's when I notice the light surrounds me like oceans. Never gotta get away, I'm a ray on a wave. Never gotta be a slave in the grave. Modern day, everybody is chosen. Very little choose fate. This is manifestation, manifestation. Here to hear the vibration with a manifestation. I know you've been patient for a manifestation. I know you've been waiting for a manifestation. This is manifestation, manifestation. This is manifestation, manifestation. I know you've been patient for a manifestation. I know you've been waiting for a manifestation. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
My man, I gotta tell you, I was back there jamming. You would have thought that I was hitting Jennifer Hudson notes because it was so dope. Where you write that from? Where did that come from?
It came from life, and it also came from just insight from higher self. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. So to make the name Manifestation, why did you name your song that?
Basically, I know you heard it like a couple of times. It came back. It was a bridge before the chorus. Basically, like when you're going through stuff and when you're at your darkest time, you start to see a lot more of the goodness in life.
You better preach, boy.
It's like it's kind of crazy. Like I've gone through a lot of things and like squandered opportunities. And when I look back at the things that I've squandered, I believe that it was a part of the lesson, of the bigger lesson that I had to learn in order to move forward.
Sometimes you got to go through some things to grow through. Yeah. I understand you. I'm here with you.
Yeah,
so where are you at now? What are you doing? Besides this song, what else are you? What else have you done?
Well, I'm very excited to like bring the world two businesses that I've been working on. One, I partnered with one of my friends, Daniel D. Drum. He's a tour drummer. He worked with Ryan Leslie and Rick Ross.
Okay.
And we're starting a production company together called Unknown NYC.
Okay.
And basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a lot of like entertainment, high level consulting, as far as events are
Okay.
concerned and as far as music is concerned. And we're also going to be doing audio and visual production as a whole. And then the second one is basically a partner company to that that is going to help people in the same way, but basically give them a structure and a set parameters so that they can work without having to pay for it. It's a nonprofit side of it.
Yes,
You know?
I commend you. So please, tell the viewers where they can find more about you.
Well, if you guys ever want to find out more about me, my most used social media is Instagram, so you can check me out at Cyphus Productions, SIPHUS PRODUCTIONS.
Now, he spelled it out, so it's for real. We thank you for coming by. Don't be a stranger. We love you. We'll be right back.
Wanna watch Courtneys Corner and then wanna sleep.
Welcome to Courtney's Corner. Today we are discussing masculinity and the black man. First off, what is masculinity? What do you define as masculinity? Especially coming from a black man. What are some of the misconceptions that are stated about black men and what you guys are saying or what social media is saying they can and can't be as masculine black men or just men in general? As you can see, I have a lovely group of people who are going to break this down. We're going to get into it. With me today, we have a lovely group of individuals who I know dearly. Starting off, all hailing out of New York, by the way. Big up to New York. We have a mother. We have a social activist. Let's give it up for Meeks D. My main man over here is an audio visual engineer. Let's give it up for Worthy. And this young lady, she does it all. She's a songwriter, an actress, a poet. Let's give it up for Jennifer. So let's get into this. Guys, what is your definition of masculinity?
Ladies first.
Okay. My definition of masculinity, it is a provider, but it is also somebody who is in touch with who they are and open to growth,
Okay.
as well as somebody who is a protector.
Okay. Jennifer?
My definition would be strength and someone who's confident and knows how to cater to someone else, within the means of providing, helping them strengthen themselves as well, change, growth, all of that.
Okay. Worthy, tell them.
Kind of like both, you know what I mean? Like, as a man, like, these are things, like, no offense, but from, like, a woman's perspective, yeah, that's what you want from a man. But as a man, sometimes it's being soft, you know what I mean? It's catering, like you said, catering to the needs of the feminine energy. And, like, the thing that I feel that a lot of men, a lot of even females don't understand is that, men, or even just people in general, there's feminine energy, there's masculine energy. Like, the way that, that meshes with, with you and, like, your relationship, it all depends on how you learn from, like, needs. Like
Right.
you said.
So then it all basically kind of goes back down to not just being masculine, but what is your perception of what a black man is supposed to be?
Exactly. And I agree with both of them. It's someone that caters, that nurtures, that tends to needs. That basically is the rock. You know what I mean? Like the foundation.
You guys agree?
I agree, but like what kind of rock when you say?
Kind of rock, like basically like when, like I said, it's not just for a man or just, you know what I mean? Like, it's being that support system, being that that confidence that someone's lacking in a time of need where they may,
Because when I look at like the black man in general, I think of a tree. I think of these are my roots. Like, you're supposed to be the roots to help me up when I'm swaying because the wind is blowing left and right. And I also think of it like I'm soil in a way. Like, you know, we work together in order to provide life and growth.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, so I actually believe I agree with everybody. You know, for me, it's being, for like you said something earlier about being in touch with who you are. I feel like we've allowed, and we had this in the earlier episode about what a man is, what a black man is, you know, and what defines a man. And I feel like a lot of times, you know, masculinity becomes such a restricted topic. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be emotional and be masculine. You know what I mean? You can't say how you feel and be masculine. You can't cry and be masculine. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like all of these answers are so positive and so, you know, and so heartfelt, but I also feel in a way like, you know, is being masculine always being a rock? Is being masculine always being hard? Is it okay to, you know, to show your heart? Is it okay to, you know, let a woman take lead and still be masculine?
No, I agree with that. That's what I'm saying. It's being masculine is just, to me, is being able to admit your faults and wholeheartedly wanting to work towards whatever it is, like that positive, like you say you're in a relationship. You know what I mean? Like, the masculine thing to do, like, say your girl is like the breadwinner, like, you know what I mean? Like, support her, uplift her, give her positive things. Like, she might be going through, like she might be going through shit at work that like, some things you just might not understand.
Okay.
But you can just be the complete opposite of what she's experiencing and be what she needs you to be.
Got you.
That's being masculine to me. Like, stepping up to the plate, doing your job. If it's you taking a step back, that's being masculine to me.
Okay.
Because you're uplifting your woman.
Right.
That's what it is.
So what are some things you believe, what are some things you believe society says black man should be?
You should be like,
Or their definition of what masculinity is?
I wouldn't even like answer that question, but like to answer the question of like the picture that they paint on like a black man, like of what a black masculinity or masculinity is, like, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, you're just like, you know, you're mad, like, there's really no word, it's just, you're, not every dude is, some dudes are, some dudes are, you feel me? But like, you just, you know, you get it?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
All right, I'm with you. Jennifer, what about you?
You gotta be in touch completely with your feelings, like I said, and have the confidence. So if you need to cry, cry. But so often, society doesn't give you that the opportunity or that chance. You know what I'm saying? And then it's just fed on to the stereos of different people and family, and so many people that are closed-minded or not taught that. They keep passing it on to generations, and you know, when you can't release your feelings, that's when the masculinity takes a negative turn. You know what I'm saying? And then it's but it's because you have all this trapped aggression or confusion that wasn't addressed, and now it's turned to a negative place. And now you're in situations where you're locked up or maybe killed, and now you're taken away from where you're needed, which is like your family and the things you need to do to help the society. So it's just a backwards cycle, you know. But if you're taught and you're shown that you can have that confidence to be who you are and be in touch with those feelings, then the masculinity comes out in a positive way. And then that's when you say with the soil and everything, and then you can properly grow your family to what it's supposed to be.
Okay, let's more on this topic when we're right back. We're back, and we've been talking a lot about what masculinity means, right? And as I was going over what we were going to discuss for today's topic and stuff like that, one of the things that it says is many people define black masculinity as extremely different from any other race's definition of black masculinity. There tends to be negative connotations, as I said before. You know, a lot of it is negative. and all of it is attached to a black man. So is it fair? Is it fair to say that, what they're saying, because this is now what people are saying, that they're defining this as, when you think of a masculine black man, this is all negative. You're thinking about the hard. You're thinking about the aggressive. You're thinking about somebody who's a thug. You know what I mean? Somebody who's in jail. Somebody who doesn't want to be bothered with their kids. Who cheats. Who steals. Let's talk about that. Is that something that, that is stated to be true? Let's talk about that.
I think when I was growing up, yes, it was definitely stated to be true because I grew up with watching Boys in the Hood. Tupac was alive, Biggie was alive. Gangster rap was the pivotal of my growth. So if you were not emulating Ice Cube, if you weren't emulating Pac, if you weren't emulating Biggie, if you definitely wasn't emulating Jay-Z, you were not considered a man. And then I look at it now, I'm thinking now, like as I come into my young adult and my adult years, I was watching Best Man Holiday recently. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. Like at the end of the movie when Morris Chestnut's wife dies and he's at her casket and he's holding his fist up, balling his fist up, watching her casket go down, and he starts shaking and breaks down crying. Tay Dick's character goes and hugs him, and that's where masculinity should be now. That support system, that being okay with expressing. And I just remember after the movie ended in the conversation, like, yo, excuse my language, like, yo, he's a bitch for hugging him like that. Like, son, he just buried his wife, like his college sweetheart. And he does the same men who still are like, yo, I need a roundaway girl. I need to count how many girls I slept with in order to define my masculinity.
Okay, what do you say about that, Wesley?
Well, something I'll go to high school, right? So like I played football like since I was 9 years old. Like I said, like the status quo was like, in the locker room, everybody's talking, oh, yo, you heard I got with this person this weekend, yo, like you won't get with her. And like for me, it was always like, well, you know what I mean? Like I'm just a friend of this person, you know what I mean? Like I don't have to be intimate with every female that I encounter, you know what I mean? Like there's been numerous times that I've denied like girls that, people would want to be with, and it wasn't anything more than just me just not like that. I'm not like that, you know what I mean? Women are not objects, so like the masculinity thing, like the kind of like I lose the word, but like the status quo, like, you know what I mean? You have to do this. You have to get with this girl because she's feeling you or like this. Like, I dealt with that, and people, you know what I mean, would demasculize. Yeah, that word.
So do you think, wow, do you think that a black man's masculinity is something that's societal? That this is where it ranges from?
It's like a preconceived notion, like, yo, like, okay, you're a black dude, like, boom, this is what you do, and, that's what you're destined to be, and, like, that's what you should be doing, and this is what we expect from you. But, like, no, it's not. Like,
is it starting from home? Do you think that kind of connotation starts from home and seeing somebody that you grow up with, like whether it be an uncle or a dad, raised that way, so now you feel like that's the status quo of how you need to be?
I could, because like as a youth, like, you know what I mean, you're very vulnerable at that age, and like you're looking up to people. So if you're, you know what I mean, if you're like exposed to that, like you're gonna want to strive to be like, you know what I mean, you want to be like that person. Like I don't blame that, but not everyone's like that. You know what I mean? Not everyone is like, they may have a different type of awareness of like who they are and who they want to be.
Okay.
And what's right and wrong.
What do you guys say about that?
It does stem from home a lot. Like I just remember when my little cousins would be over and my older cousin would be like, I would cry because I fell down a flight of steps. If my little cousin cries because he falls, yo, stop being a little girl, man up, man up. And it's like, no, he's a baby. Let him cry because he's hurt.
Right.
Like, it still hurts. But I do also think we as women push a certain kind of, like, view of masculinity.
Onto the guy?
Onto a guy, because, like, if we have absent fathers or like non-existent fathers, or just we've been dealing with men who are just ain't shit. Sorry, men, sorry.
It is what it is.
Constantly, we now are looking for a man to be either way more than what he is or less than what he is. And I remember saying this to somebody, yo, you nag like a girl, and I had to catch myself like, it's not what I should be saying to you. But we're also trained like that to, we're a woman, this is our traits, these are boys, and these are their traits.
Right.
So it's home, school, society, it's
And that was something that we discussed last week in regards, maybe the week before, in regards to double standards. So these are basically double standards that we placed upon young black men or older black men in society because of our need of wanting what you're saying right now, the traits that you're asking for. You know what I mean? So instead of just taking the person as they are, emotional, whatever the case may be, someone who's not afraid to wear their heart on their sleeve, we take that as soft. But then you're saying that, we want our men to be tough. We want our men to be tough, but then go ahead and call them hypersexual, violent, and thuggish. Just stay right there. We'll be right back. Okay, guys, so we are back. Thank you for staying and thank you for tuning in. So Charles Barkley weighed in on a report that the Seattle Seahawks locker room is divided because of the quarterback, Russell Wilson. Some people are saying that he is not black enough. He's not black enough. And he goes on to say, if you're not a thug or an idiot, you're not black enough. And here are some quotes that Charles Barkley said himself. Right? For some reason, we are brainwashed to think if you're not a thug or an idiot, you're not black enough. If you go to school, make good grades, speak intelligent, and don't break the law, you are not a good black person. It's a dirty, dark secret in the black community. He also then says there are a lot of black people who are unintelligent, who don't have success. It's best to knock a successful black person down because they're intelligent. They speak well, they do well in school, and they're successful. It's just typical BS that goes on when you're black, man. So how do you feel about these comments?
That's a crabs in a barrel mentality. It's complete crabs in a barrel. How can you say as another black person that you are not going to uplift the black person? Who gave you the authority to be, you're not black enough because of X, Y, Z, and you're not black enough because of X, Y, Z? We as black people need to get out of that mentality because that was beat into us. That goes back to slavery when you had the house Negroes and the field Negroes. So once we get rid of that mentality and understand that regardless, whatever other race looks at us, we are all black. You still were owned, you still were beaten, you still were lynched. Does not matter because at the end of the day, this is how you are perceived. The moment we get out of that crabs in the barrel mentality, we will begin to fix the way that we are looking at masculinity.
What about yourself?
No, I agree. I completely agree. It's just a lot of hate. Like with black men, it's always a competition. You know what I mean? Like even in rap, it's you're a bitch. Those words, you're a bitch. You're trying to call some. You know what I mean? You're trying to demean another man in a sense as he's inferior to you instead of uplifting him. You know what I mean? Like you said, the crabs in the barrel mentality that's the number one thing. Like you said, what's wrong with hugging another, you know what I mean? Another brother in a time of doubt, even in joyousness, you know what I mean? Why can't you be happy? Be yo, hi, bro. Hi, hug. Girls, women do it. Oh, hey, babe. Oh, yeah, no, we'll catch up. You know what I mean? Why can't, as myself, like I said, I played football, and, I was, super, I peeped that from, a young age. I understood and I perceived, this is wrong. And especially football is, a team and, a family-oriented type of, organization thing. It's love. You're trusting someone, to protect you. I played running back and I played quarterback, so I'm trusting these people not to hit me. You know what I mean? To protect me so these guys don't fuck me up. So of course I have love for you. We go to dinner, we're gonna go to you know what I mean? but it's just funny how like other people like will just, you know, they'll just do any. I don't know. It's weird. The masculinity.
So do you
is
think
weird to me. It's very weird.
people are just not like doing it for the culture?
Yeah, they're not doing it for the culture, like, because if they were, like, they wouldn't feel like weird, or like they would promote it more. Like love, like
Okay.
about love, like, you know what I mean? Like that's it. Like, people
So-
forget that you could be a man and also have love for your fellow man.
I like that. I like that. Some people are saying that's just who we are, right? That's just who they are. The black men are just that way, right? So we're talking about like, you know, what we should be. What do we say to those people who are saying that's just who they are? You know what I mean? They're gonna be thugs. You know, like as Charles Barkley said, you know, if you're smart enough, if you think, if you have a mind of your own, then you're not black enough. So what do we say to people who are ignorant like that?
Like Charles Barkley.
Like Charles Barkley.
That's just sad on a whole other level.
Yeah.
Because
Mm.
first of all,
myself.
you know, you've made a life for yourself, and you have this energy of positivity that you're supposed to promote and put out there into the world because you have a platform. You know what I'm saying? You have a higher responsibility
Right.
than other people. So to say something like that, it just makes it's sad, and it makes absolutely no sense. But of course, you have to also go back. Everything comes from, like you said, a place. So we don't know his whole background of what he was exposed to, or what
Right.
he grew up with, or the father figures, or the positivity men in his life,
Right.
the examples that he had. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, unfortunately, media is pushed too much into, you know, the homes and the minds of our children, and they're brainwashed, and they see these images and they're like, oh, that's what it's supposed to be. No, it's not. You know, so when you have a platform, it's just very sad if you don't use it properly to teach. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
What
Yes.
you're supposed to teach.
That's true.
Because there's so much out there to learn. We're so lost. as
No, we
people,
are.
You know, and it's so
We are.
sad.
As a culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We'll be right back. So we're back. We have some questions from our viewers. I'm going to start with this one. Why do masculine men have a hard time dealing with their woman when they cry? He or she goes on to say, like, just rub my booty and tell me it's going to be okay. Not that hard. What do you say about it?
Yeah.
You guys are too much.
From I'm a booty record. I realized, like, honestly, it really stems from the man in that situation, not being able to, or not ever being comfortable with expressing his feelings to anyone else. You know what I mean? That's where it stems from, in my opinion, because I've struggled with that, and like once I've realized, like I said, being masculine, I used to think like, oh, like, I'm mad, let me hit something. And like I've punched hella holes in a bunch of things that you probably shouldn't have done, you know what I mean? I've
Right.
That shouldn't have been yelled at, but
Okay.
once I got in tune with myself and figured that out, like it's like, yo, just talk it out. You know?
All right. So from each of you, what are 3 words you would use to describe black masculinity? Starting from you, Meeks.
Oh. 3 words to describe black masculinity. Joy,
Okay.
fear, ambition.
Jennifer?
Strength, beauty, courage.
Say patience, embrace,
Okay. And
love.
love. Okay. So do you think, and this is a good question, guys, do you think we as a people contribute to the stereotype the world portrays as a black man? Worthy?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we're people. Like, we have influence. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, oh man, look at this flower. Like, I like this. This is the new cool flower. If someone else shares it and keeps going, it's going
Right.
to perpetuate. This is the flower that we need in our garden. You know what I mean? Like, so like,
Right.
this is the thing that we need. This is what it is.
Right.
Yeah, of course. Because, like I said, if more people started like pushing like it's okay, like the idea and even the vision, like even pictures of just other black men hugging other black men, or like doing positive and like uplifting things that you don't normally see. Like,
Right.
the whole conversation changes, the whole the whole perspective changes.
I do think that we play a big part in the contribution of that. Starting off with wearing baggy pants. You know what I mean? Starting off with feeling like we need to be part of a gang to be in, or to talk a certain way to be in, or you know what I mean, to act a certain way just to be in. You know what I mean? Like corner store thugs. I always call them that. Like the ones you see just hanging out in the corner store. Now if your mom or your grandmother saw you on that corner, you wouldn't be there. Here, period. You understand what I'm saying? So we do a lot of things. We say a lot of things, and we come off as a way that just states that we are contributing to everything they say we are. You know what I'm saying? And not just black men, but black women too. You know what I mean? Like, and what do we now have to do to make it known that we are not that? We're not thugs. We're not violent. We're people. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's not just about color. Even though we have to go through this, it shouldn't just be about color. It should be about who we are as people and to be respected individually as a person. You know what I mean? So what do we do now? Where do we go from here? And how can we get people to realize and take away that it's okay to be black masculine and also be smart and be fearless and be a leader, you know what I'm saying, and be an individual? Like, where do we say? What do we do?
I think making education cool again. That's a definite start. Making education cool, because like growing up, we had a different world, and everybody wanted to go to HBCUs. HBCUs admission rate rose up after a different world was shot, and I think right now we have Tekashi 6ix9ine, we got Young Thug, you got Migos, you got all these mumble rappers who are popping. When it's like Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole are actually very intelligent, very masculine, and worthy. They're just like there where it's like once we stop making fun of the cool kid, like once we stop making fun of those who are educated for speaking properly and knowing how to code switch, when to turn it on and off, that's when we can begin fixing everything. Mm-hmm.
Right. Just being confident and just being black and loving who you are.
Being black
and being
educated
it is. There's nothing wrong with being educated. And I feel like we've lost, like you said, we have lost that. We think that, it's okay to quit school.
Because Ratchet TVs was popping now.
Right. You know what I mean? And make a quick come up. You know what I'm saying? And not realizing that you need to have that backup plan. You need to be able to go back and say, listen, well, I got my degree in this. You know what I'm saying? You can't say that when you got your pants down eating Doritos in front of the corner store. You understand what I'm saying? You can't say that. Like, so what about you? What can you do?
Well, I think to
what can we do?
off of what you said, which I agree with you 100%, is also put the arts back in the school.
Yes.
And open up these platforms for these people, these kids to come to express themselves, to have a safe environment to do that.
Right.
I mean, that would just eliminate so much. Art saves lives. I couldn't fathom. I'm like, what are they doing? What are they doing? Why are they taking arts out of the schools?
Right.
Like, really? So I commend, the people like you have on the past episode, even with myself, with my company. I put those platforms out there because, like you said, sometimes people just need a place to go. You know what I mean? And sometimes you don't have that outlet at home. And you're shunned upon because of who you are, or you have this artistic, drive, and you don't know what to do with it because no one around you does anything with that. So then it just becomes nothing, becomes dormant, and then that's something that's a harbor in you again, and it may turn into a negative point with masculinity as well, because there's something still that's there that you can't identify with because you never got a chance to even try to
see what it was, right?
Yeah.
See what it was. I mean, for you, Worthy? So basically, what could what can we do different, to kind of change the stereotype? What can we tell the viewers, those young men who are watching right now, who are struggling? You know what I mean?
Just be yourself, unapologetically. Like, I've been going through my path, and like I said, there's times I've been like, this is the masculine person I need to be. Stern, I need to,
Right.
But that's not me. I could do it, but like in my heart of hearts, that's not who I am. Like, I'm here for a certain reason. I'm here for a certain purpose and to portray a certain message. Like, it's okay to like, you know what I mean? Like, be a little soft. It's not soft, but just more so in tune with
Your emotions.
your emotions. It's okay. You don't have to put on a facade like I'm the tough guy. Look at me. No, you don't have to do that. Like, people will see you for what you are and what you can bring to the table, and that's just be yourself.
Right.
That's the best thing I can say that we should be doing right now.
And I also just feel like it's not our differences that divide us. It's our inability to recognize and accept who we are as young black people, as young black men, you know? And once we start accepting it and celebrating our true authentic self and not worrying about who has something to say about us, then we will be better, the young people will be better, and we'll be able to move better. I love what you guys said about keeping education and keeping arts in these schools, because you give young people an outlet to be who they are. You understand what I'm saying? If you're taking these things from them and expecting them to be great, it's impossible. You know what I'm saying? So I thank you guys for joining me today. It was such a pleasure having you. To find out more about these people sitting next to me, just follow me on Courtney's Corner. And I thank them for being a part. It was such a pleasure having them. I love you guys for supporting so far. This is now episode 5. We have about, 6, 7 more to go. I thank you for riding with me so far. I love you. Thank you for watching.
Sometimes I feel hopeless, floating out of my focus. But that's when I notice the light surrounds me like oceans. Never gotta get away, I'm a ray on a wave. Never gotta be a slave in the great modern day. Everybody is chosen, very little choose fate. This is manifestation, manifestation. Here to hear the vibration with a manifestation. I know you've been patient for a manifestation. I know you've been waiting for a manifestation. This is meditation for your soul. Feel the respiration of your hope. Breathe the vegetation, how we grow. Reap an education, then you sow. Vines that don't need to find a root to breathe truth and walk through lost times with peace in these shoes. You judge me, you don't know why, but you love me. Sometimes I feel hopeless, floating out of my focus. But that's when I notice the light surrounds me like oceans. Never gotta get away, I'm a ray on a wave. Never gotta be a slave in the great modern day. Everybody is chosen, very little choose fate. This is manifestation, manifestation. Hear the vibration with the manifestation. I know you've been patient for a manifestation. I know you've been waiting for a manifestation. This is manifestation, manifestation. This is manifestation, manifestation. I know you've been patient for a manifestation. I know you've been waiting for a manifestation. Thank you guys.